Good evening, everyone. Hello to my party people. It's your girl, Lady J, and I am featuring my new evening discussion titled Night Topics. And tonight, I want to discuss our future, our housing, our food, and anything else you want to comment about in the comments. And we can pick up this discussion another evening. Now, in case many of you do not know, you have a lot of people, especially here in Georgia. And when I say especially, I'm talking about storage. Storage is very big in Georgia. I came from a small town, Buffalo, New York, relocated here in 2023. And a lot of my things I had to put in storage. And so did a lot of other transplant people coming in, moving here, starting a new life, such as myself from other states. And we have storages here, like there's so many of them. And so I bring up the storages because you can pay a fee. It costs me almost $200 a month to store my things. And so I was able to do that and still live with some family members until we closed on our home. So you have many people right now, they are living in their storage unit. And some people may say, how are they living in a storage unit? Won't you suffocate? Won't you? Isn't it too hot? No, I got the best. And my storage unit was very, very clean. And it also had air conditioning in it. It was very impressive. Now, some people are waiting for their apartment to be ready. Their landlord are not renewing their lease for another year, and they refuse to go in with other family members or may not have any family members, and they rather take a chance and live in a storage unit than to deal with maybe other people who are not too kind. I don't know. Now, me, myself, I think it's dangerous. I don't like that. But are we in the times now where dire straits are over fear or responsibility, meaning be safe first? We really got to discuss some night topics, y'all. Life is real. And party people, young people, older people, people who are not taking this very serious, you're going to have to take things very serious. Now, I'm going to go into some adult conversation, meaning like our responsibilities, but I want to speak out to the young people because I walk my pets 2, sometimes 3 times every day, 7 days a week. And I'll go through the community and I'll see paper on the ground, but not just paper. You know how you pack your children's school lunches for school, and you have those little bags of Cheetos or Cheez-Its or potato chips or little boxes of candy, whatever it is. Those empty containers are thrown on the ground. Not to mention all the empty plastic bottles and cans and even sometimes little liquor bottles I see. And what I can pick up, I pick up because I carry plastic bags with me because I pick up my dog's waste. I don't just walk them and leave that stuff there. I'm like OCD. Everything has to be neat, lined up, and in place. And that's just the way I am. And I'm very happy to be that way because I always tell my friends and families if you keep it clean and neat, it's easy to keep it clean and neat. So when I'm walking through the community and my taxes alone is almost $5,000 a year because the community I live in has the best schools, and I don't even have young children in school. So I'm paying these high taxes because I pay to live where I live, and that's what it costs me. And that's even with the homestead. Homestead is like the STAR program for those of you who live in the state of New York. If you own a home, you most likely are eligible for a discount in your yearly taxes for your home property. Here in the state of Georgia, it's called homestead. And I paid. And thank God for my family members. Help me, my son and I, to pay these expensive taxes every year. And that was with the discount. But I don't mind because it's it's worth it to me. The peace of mind, the neighborhood, the community, what you get for your HOA and things like that. But I can't understand all the people that live in this community. We must speak to our children and we must let them know. Every time you drop a bag or mess up the property, and the HOA people that we pay to come around and cut the grass in certain areas, who tend to our pool and our tennis court, our playground, or trim back trees, and then they have to clean up, they're going to raise the fees eventually. And so I pick up what I can. Now we have this house here, and it's a community house that's very nice. It has a kitchen. You can have parties, retirement, celebrations, graduations, and things like that, and rent out the house for, I think it's $150 to $200 to do that. And they had a party, and I'm sure it was a graduation party because a lot of the children are out of school now, and the graduations began, I think, a couple weeks ago. And the young people, I saw them because I see a lot by walking my pets. And they were there setting up and getting ready. And I said, oh, it must going to be a party tonight, a young people's party. And sure enough, it was. And the next day, when I was out walking my dogs and took them to the park, and I usually will sit on the park bench sometime, or I'll sit in the grass, or do things like that, they left all these um, soda cans. And some of the soda cans still had a lot of liquid in the can. And they were on the ground. And not even on the ground, they were on the bench where people sit down. Somebody left their shirt. I mean, it was a nice, like a jersey type of sports shirt. And so I filled that shirt up with all those cans, and I took it over to a garbage disposal because there you have to take out um, the garbage every Sunday evening if you're giving a party for them to come and pick it up on that Monday morning. And so thank God there was one of the garbage plastic cans that we own and we have to purchase, but we own them to discard our garbage every weekly. So I put all those cans and paper and different wrappers I picked up, and I cleaned up the park and made it nice. And it was difficult because I had two dogs with me, and they were on leashes. I have other things in my hand, but I did it. I had to make a couple trips, but it was important to me to keep America beautiful. and especially the community that I live in. We're having a discussion tonight. And once again, I am featuring a new conversation called Night Topics. And so let's tell our children, our older children, our teenagers. These weren't little children, by the way. These were teenagers who should know better. And they'll throw their empty little good and plenty box, little candy wrappers. They don't seem to connect in their brains that I live here. My parents pay a lot of money for me to live here, or my neighbors, or I want to be courteous. But young people, talk to your younger people, or talk to your family. Have these conversations. Because someday, young people, you're going to grow up and be a full-grown adult, and hopefully you're not going to want to live around mess and trash and garbage or bring your community down. You want to keep your value up. And if you don't care about what you do on the outside, you don't care about what you do on the inside. And I always say pretty is what pretty does. Keep your community clean. Pick up paper. Don't just throw an empty bottle or a full bottle or a can or a wrapper or an empty potato chip bag or throw your gum out. Don't do that. It's just, to me, God sees everything, and he gives people, to me, things that are value that he know will be responsible and take care. We're heading into some perilous times, and tomorrow night we'll talk about employment and how jobs are being lost and fired and retired, and you all are going to be replaced with artificial intelligence, robots, and things that they don't have to pay your medical expense. They don't have to give you a pension. They won't have to give you match your 401k, which is your stocks. That all they have to do is keep those robots operating and running and oiled up. And they don't mind paying for repairs because it's still going to save these companies in the long run monies in opposed to hiring you who call in sick, have to be paid for sick time even though you won't show up maybe 10 days, two weeks out of the year, whatever the handbook says, wherever you work. But they're replacing left and right. Food is astronomical, as we know. The cost of living is astronomical. They're cutting back SNAP for a lot of people, which is food stamps, housing, Section 8. If we're not going to wake up, we are going to be in big trouble. And I share because I care. So please, I need you all to work with me and say something and educate one another, because we're going to have to really help each other. And if we can't pick up a piece of paper off the ground, we're certainly not going to care about anything on a major level. And if the powers to be can control where we live, what we eat and drink, they can control everything. We're going to have to come together, and we're going to have to plant food, herbs, live together, bring someone in that you know is a good person, but life is just too difficult because it costs too much by demise. It's almost like it's designed and demised for people not to make it. Everybody's saying the middle class is being cut out. I say only what we do for Christ will last, and he takes care of his own. So, in closing, and if you won't want me to discuss and go into more than 15 minutes and a half, I will do so in the future, but I don't want to hold you too long. But I want you to think about the things that are going on in the world, and we got to really have some great discussions. And so, in closing, the recap, we talked about storage units and how people are temporarily sleeping and hiding in them because they have no other place to go. We talked about people that are littering the beautiful communities and bringing the value down because they don't care. Nobody's at home talking to their children and saying, make sure you don't throw things on the ground, because last year in taxes, we paid almost $5,000 for you to go to a great school and to live in a beautiful community and to keep the value up. We talked about artificial intelligence, how they're replacing people with robots instead of human beings, and paying them a honest day's work for an honest day's pay. It's a lot to be discussed. And so, in closing, I have a beautiful book here. I don't know if you can see it. It's Proverbs. I'll show you. And I love this book. It was a gift given to me by one of my sisters a couple years ago. And this is a beautiful flashing. I don't know if it'll show on camera once I turn off the video. But that's a speaker, believe it or not. And it's a Bluetooth speaker I can hook up to my phone and music and things of that nature. But it also has like a candle lit into it. And this is some of my creation I created. My beautiful pens that I put together for a hobby. And some people like them so much they even want to purchase them. So it's just a lot. And it's a lot that we have to come together and discuss, and we will be discussing these various topics. So if the Lord say the same, we will come back again on tomorrow. And I wish you sweet sleep and that you fear no evil, for the Lord is with you. Don't forget to thank God for all your blessings. And until then, shalom.